Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are talking about the camping essentials that you really need. Now, we're full-time RVers, but I think all of these would apply to just owning an RV, taking it out for weekends or extended trips. And
nice things to just have on board with your RV.
yeah, and a lot of people will say, you need this, and they're always trying to sell you something, right? These are the things, and our list does kind of, like, nice to have and need to have are two different things for us.
Right.
These are kind of more on the need to have sort of side.
Right.
So, what's number one?
First thing is an extendable ladder.
Mm-hmm.
So we keep one in our front box on our trailer. It fits perfectly, so we don't have to worry about where to store it. Yep. And we use it for maintenance. We use it for emergency fixes.
Upgrades.
Upgrades.
That has come in handy so many times.
Yeah, it's nice. Like if we need to look at if we need to check our solar panel, if there's something going on with our awning, like it's nice to be able to pull out our ladder real quick and just check stuff out.
We use it at least once a month, I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean, at least, it's always good to get up there and check it, caulking, if nothing else.
It's not an item that we use all the time, but it is an item that is really important to have when you have an issue. And
right along with that is things that this is a must-have for sure, and you don't use it all the time. We haven't used one in a little while, thankfully, knock on wood. Fuses. You have to have extra fuses, and they're easy to use. I mean, you literally, if you blew a 20 amp fuse, of course, you want to troubleshoot and see why you blew that fuse, but then eventually you have to replace that fuse once you corrected the issue. Right. Never replace a 20 with a 30, for example, or a 5 with a 10. But just having an assortment, they're cheap. They don't cost much.
Right.
Yeah. So must have, get a little pack of them and off you go.
Yep. The third thing that we'd like to have on board is tire patch kits and an air compressor to reinflate our tires. Yep. It's really important, like if we need to air down, like if we were to leave here and we get stuck, to be able to air down our tires. If we have a tire inflator, we can reinflate them. If we get a hole, because now we have 8 tires to worry about, so if we get a hole in one, we can patch it. We also have spares for both our truck and our trailer, but it's nice to have everything we need to fix a tire, to inflate a tire, to swap a tire out if necessary. We've got all the pieces on board.
The inflator also works on the bike tires, of course.
Yeah, we also even carry jack stands and a jack, so that way we can, if we need to lift the truck up or anything like that.
Or maintenance and repairs. And now actually recently, we figured out we didn't know where our old tire patch kit was. And thankfully we have a tandem axle unit that we were able to actually kind of slowly limp in with a low tire. We had a completely flat tire actually. $20 later, we figured out that that was great to have since we were already in the city. But had we not been, we would have had a bad day.
Yep.
Now, those are some essential tools, but there are a few others that you're going to want to have, which get a little toolkit. Now, we bring all of our tools because we full-time. So where are we going to keep our other tools? This is everything that we own. But we have a little mechanic set, ratchets, sockets, all that good stuff. We actually have 3 sets of those. Somehow we always end up needing 3 sets when we get into something, right?
Yep.
We do our own oil changes, for example. You're going to need things for that. And I would also say a good set, a drill and a little set of screwdrivers. I think for weekenders, you could probably get away with maybe paring down to just, you could have a screwdriver.
Screwdriver, Allen key, some ratchets.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe not necessarily even ratchets. Maybe just an adjustable wrench.
Just an adjustable wrench, yeah.
I think kind of look at what you'd need to do.
I think those are just like the baseline things to have on board, just in case.
Yeah, but I would say a drill and at least a 3/4 inch socket. If you, like me, have maybe not the most comfortable back when you're leaning down, get in there and you can do your jacks lickety split. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, our outdoor chairs and table. Chairs are nice because you can just throw them out at a campfire. You can just sit outside and relax. It's nice when you're out camping to actually be outside. So chairs are wonderful for that. And then we have an outdoor table. We love that because we don't normally go to campgrounds where they give you a picnic table.
Recent upgrade.
Right. So we just bring a table with us. It's small. It's easy to collapse. This would also fit in the front box of our trailer. And so, again, easy to store, keep it nice and small, compact, and easy to pull out when you need it. Now,
this was a recent upgrade. Actually, being on the road for over 10 years, which is hard to believe, but a lot of that time was spent urban boondocking. And if that's a real phrase, right? But we were in the Pacific Northwest. And in the Pacific Northwest, we didn't even have chairs, right? So we go out to the Olympic National Forest, and it was just kind of cold. And so it's great to like maybe open your windows up and enjoy. But a lot of times it's raining. And these things, if you get them wet and you put them away wet, frankly, it's often just damp there. So the climate that you're in actually will justify or not what kind of gear you have.
Right.
So the other thing that'd be nice to have, now that we've been away, especially in the Southwest, here, even the Midwest,
Yeah.
the weather is just so wonderful all the time. Even on a chillier day like today, we want to get out. We actually have our awning deployed. A set or two of outdoor rugs would be very, very nice, I think. Just to kind of complete this, because we want our dog to have a nice place to lay that, you know, you can get dogs little cots and things, that's cool. But a little place that we can put our shoes, and then we can kind of like wipe our feet before we go inside. That's kind of a nice thing.
Yeah.
Something easy to store, lightweight. It also kind of changes the mood a little bit, but I will say the chair and the table are such a nice thing.
I think the key for any of these like outdoor things would be like make sure you put them away dry if you can, or dry them back out once you put them away, take them home and lay them back out again, because you don't want to put away wet things inside or introduce mold into your items.
Right. And that was the thing in the Pacific Northwest. There was never really a dry day.
Yeah.
You know, it was.
And I think too, like we put a tablecloth on our table. Even if you're using like picnic tables at a campground, I would probably have some sort of tablecloth that you can bring with you, because you never know what's been on those tables either.
Yep. Now, I'll also say an outdoor lantern might be nice to have for some folks, or like outdoor LED lights. It's probably the way that we're going to go. And again, it's one of those things that we're adapting to the environment, the environments that we are in, because we're traveling full time. And so like if you're in the city, these are not things, right, that you're gonna use a whole lot. If you're not using your rig a whole lot, maybe not. But as you get out and you get more comfortable and you have places you can spread out like this, we want to go ahead and maybe we add the outdoor LED lights. Really, we just go inside. Typically, when the sun goes down, we'll watch the sunset and head on inside. We don't like dealing with bugs. And in the summer, that's what's up.
Yeah.
But, you know, it might extend you out a little bit farther. And you get to enjoy some of the, you know, the sounds of the crickets and things like that outside.
And a lot of people will go stay at campgrounds, which will give you a fire pit, therefore some extra light. So you may not necessarily need these things, but it could be a nice to have. And like our trailer does come with a light above the door and a light on the front. So there are like emergency lights. So if you need to go outside in the dark, but you're not hanging out outside, then like you can kind of see what you're doing. Yeah. Minimally. The next thing that we think is kind of an essential thing to have is we have a down comforter. We actually have two different comforters. So we have we have a quilt, and then we have a down comforter. And in warmer months or the summer especially, we just use our quilt on our bed. We take the comforter off, we store it under our bed. In the colder months, we have the down comforter, and it's really nice because it keeps us so warm. And we'll keep the quilt on the bed also, so you have kind of like 2 layers of warmth. But that's like the perfect combination that we found of warmth for different seasons with
especially
those 2 blankets.
Below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. It was, I think it got down to freezing last night, and you wouldn't know it. So we keep our furnace on very low. Yeah. And then with the comfort, it's perfect.
And like we invested in a really nice down comforter. I think we got it at like Kohl's, but we invested in a really nice down comforter, high quality. We'll keep it for a long time. And we don't need electric blankets. We don't need a lot of sweatshirts and layers like that when we're in the bed. Like we stay really, really comfortable all year round with that setup of blankets specifically.
That's kind of an interesting point. So one of the reasons that we don't use electric blankets, and I know some folks are like, they're dangerous. Other people swear by them. Yeah. And we've used them.
We have.
And you know, in certain circumstances, they're great, especially if you're just camping and you don't have water in your trailer. So if you're doing winter camping, no water, you're already winterized, perfect. But if it's way too cold for us, it's probably even colder for the outside pipes. We had spray insulation. That's a wonderful thing. But our tanks are still, you know, it's one of those things that if the ambient temperature is about freezing, it's probably even colder where we aren't. And so the electric blanket's going to keep us, we want to keep that furnace at least on the lowest setting just to keep all that warm. Yeah. But I will say the one thing we have, and I will recommend it to everybody, is an air fryer.
Yes.
And I know some people love the grills, you know, you get the little George Foreman's and things like or hibachi grills and things. And everybody has their own favorite thing. For us, it's the air fryer because we have so much power and we're so fortunate that, I mean, we cook food faster. It doesn't take us it tastes great. It's less work. It's not a whole lot of maintenance and cleanup.
We also don't have an oven or a microwave, and the air fryer does all of the things that both of those things would do. Yeah. So for us, it's a great option. Other people choose other options, but for us, that's been like the key thing for our kitchen and cooking experience and making us want to eat in our trailer at home.
Which is a big deal when you're on the road. Remove the obstacles And it gets a lot easier because
Yeah.
it's so easy to say, well, there's Subway or there's, whatever.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just want to stop at a fast food joint. However, we recently received a very kind gift from my family. And it was an upgrade to the air fryer. It's got a little tray, a little set of trays. And then when you're done, it also flips out of the way. Whoa. You wouldn't think it would be that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And it is.
It is.
It
for
is.
sure.
Now, one really nice to have, I think, and it's not necessarily like you need to have it, is some sort of block system. We have these big old blocks underneath our jacks, and that has actually come in handy a few times because, one, it gives us a little extra reach. Ours are really heavy duty rated. They're rated for over, I think it's 10,000 pounds. It's something crazy. They allow us to get a little bit more length on our front jack, which has definitely helped us in, I'd say 2 pickles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they also keep your jacks from sinking, which we're actually at a salt flats right now. And that's a must-have.
Yeah. It also keeps the jacks off of the salt here as well, like the actual metal off the salt.
Yeah, which that corrosion, it's pretty nasty stuff once it starts if you don't catch it.
Yeah.
I will say it's also necessary at some campgrounds to have some sort of pad underneath. There are plastic blocks too, and a little thinner pads. We like the taller ones.
Yeah. The other thing that I think is an essential have. I think this is
This feels more like an essential.
Yeah, is extra towels. Inevitably, you're gonna need an extra towel. Something's gonna spill, something's gonna be wet, you're gonna wanna wipe it off, and you're not gonna wanna use your shower towels or anything like that. So we have just like a project towel. We actually have a couple of them just in our front box. We throw it
Big and fluffy.
Yep, we throw it over our ladder so it doesn't scratch up our rig when we use our extendable ladder. We'll use it for like when dog water spills or if we wanna wipe off a park bench or something like that.
These are all, you can get these at like the thrift store or whatever too. Like these don't have to be super nice, but the fluffier the better. I would also say add in little kitchen size towels for those spills.
Yep.
Dog water spills are the bane of our existence, and we don't have the equipment right now, but one day we'll find the perfect dog bowl that does non-spill dog bowl.
Yeah.
Now we work on the road, so for those of you who are looking to get away from it all, ignore this one. But for those of us that we do work on the road, or campground Wi-Fi is not, it's never what you think it's going to be, right? We actually bring our internet. Now, there's Starlink. Starlink is satellite internet, but there's varying costs. It could be as low as $5 a month or something like that, but there's an upfront cost. It's very complicated. We didn't want to deal with any of that. And the way that we live, we are almost always in cellular range. So we used a little cellular router. For us, it works wonderfully. There's nowhere I can recall that mattered that we didn't have service.
The last thing that we think is essential to have on board is rubber gloves.
Yep.
You can get them at Costco, you can get them at Sam's Club, you can get them at Walmart, you can get them at like Harbor Freight. There's tons of places you can buy rubber gloves, so there's no reason not to go get them. And you can get them in big packs, and we use them for multiple things. Like we use them for dumping the takes, we use them for picking up trash in places when we're out places. We'll use them for all sorts of different things.
And they come in handy quite frequently. No, I have seen people that will dump without gloves, and I totally respect everybody's opinion on the matter, but for us, I will not touch that sewer hose without gloves.
Yeah.
It is just one of those things that like it is not within my, you know what I mean? Because you never know. You never know.
You never know.
So, anywho, that is one of those things that you just buy it in bulk. We use nitrile gloves. You can use latex gloves. Really, we just buy whatever's on sale. There are also mechanics gloves, which are very different than nitrile gloves. So if you're doing your own oil changes, for example, you're gonna want those mechanics gloves. That actually made a big, big difference for us.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. Hopefully this is helpful for you, and we cut through a little bit of the fluff. There's nothing here that we're trying to sell you, and these are just things that we have found, and we'll continue to adapt along the way, right? This list may very well change, and as they say, things become a game changer.
Yeah. We're Joel and Emma from Cozy Living Machine on behalf of Escape Trailer. We'll see you in the next video.
Bye, guys.
Bye.